Order filled.
Anyway, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and everybody's all bright-eyed and ready to see what the trading day brings us. Welcome to my world. It This is my world at Apex Land. Um, this morning, I want to take a few minutes. There's not a lot of news coming out this morning. So this is kind of a quiet news day. At 12 noon, one of these FOMAC folk is going to speak. I guess, they like to call it speaking. Anyway, I don't see a heck of a lot this morning that requires our immediate attention. Crude oil is definitely taking a little trend on the southbound bus this morning. And um, so when I look at this first to evaluate about where we are or any other market, I do the same thing with TF. Where are we in relationship to settlement? And we are definitely well south of settlement. We also are continually putting in lower lows of the day. At some point this will stop putting in a low of the day, and then the question remains, will we go down and bounce off of that and then retest it and keep going, or will we go north? But the first thing we notice is we're now painting red apexes here on the 519, and on the 210 is the same. So thus far, our sharpshooter is telling us that it still is in a south trend, and we're seeing this come. It's a little easier maybe to see on this from settlement up here. It's cleared the half deviation and the red ice, and so now if it keeps going, the next stop is going to be the 0.07 deviation level, and it could go on down from there. I mean, who knows? Another thing I like to note is where this is in relationship to the bottom of the range channel, because one thing I've learned is that the bus drivers have a great respect for the bottom of that range and the top of that range channel. So having said that, we'll just have to see what the morning brings. I thought I'd share something. I thought that Lori would be back today and we would start. I cannot trade and type and all this stuff at once, but she is capable of typing as soon as she puts a trade in. So we kind of work this a little bit as a team effort, but she's still in Las Vegas, and her mother lives there, so she's spending a couple of days extra. And she'll be back in our room on Wednesday, so we'll pick this up with trading TF. I did want to, I have been helping somebody in the room who asked me for a little extra help, and this person had a real aha moment with this TF, because they were trying to trade several different things, and this didn't work and that didn't, and bouncing around and about to throw up their hands. And I pointed out that on TF ticks the same as CL. It's just that compared to CL, it's a bit of a lumbering ox. It just kind of lumbers along. Plus, Hello? Yes, okay. It'll only take another couple seconds. But the way she's doing this is with a 15 tick take profit. Very focused entries on the E, on um, the first slingshot. I get slingshots and elevators. I kind of had to learn this from her. The first slingshot of any trend down or an E, apex E for an entry, that makes sense. I mean, you don't take that into deviation or into the low of the day or something, but whatever makes sense where you got a very good probability of getting 15 tick take profit. Um, for those of you who haven't done the math on that, if you use 2 contracts for that and you get 15 ticks, you only need 3, maybe 4 trades a day, and you have done quite well. So you might think of what that adds up to, because per contract it would be $150, so 2 contracts would be $300 a pop. Jason, I believe she has hers put in for her stop loss for 15. Mine is set for 20, and I don't leave it there. Lori also does hers a little bit differently in that she drops one of those off at 5 ticks and holds the second one for 15. And when the first one is dropped off, then she moves her stop loss down to, I don't know, 3 ticks above where she got in, or break even or something. But what if the key to this is getting those entries? Those entries are just like crude oil. You have to be a laser-like entry hunter, because if you don't have an entry, what you have is no trade. You have a crisis, and you might as well just put on your fireman's hat and practice being a fireman, because it'll do about that much good for you. So anyway, I thought I'd pass that along, because this person that I pointed that out to, it was like, oh my goodness. So if that helps anybody else, the entries, Leah, what I was saying is the entries are at the E, and I'm talking about TF, the E, an apex E, any apex E off the 519. The apex E, the first slingshot candle of a trend, either up or down, and pay attention to where the cross on that EMA is, because that can also make a good entry. But you have to use this with some common sense. You cannot do this when you cannot possibly hope for a 15 tick profit, because if you're trying to do this right into the low of the day, and the low of the day is 3 ticks below there, that makes no sense whatsoever. You have to understand the apex trading system before you just blindly do this, which is why she's going to start calling these, I believe. I told you Monday, sorry about that, but she'll be back on Wednesday. So we'll see if we can do that. In the meantime, be sure you practice this in demo. I'm not suggesting anybody do this live until you really have this down. So with that, this has been my view from my world at Apex Land, brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll see you at